I'm sure. Hello and welcome back to Pink Diamond Died. And this
Who
your
are
twin
we?
flames. What's your name? Susie and Ricky.
We're off to a cracking start, aren't we?
Definitely. And so we were talking about realities of
What
what?
you think about,
Yeah,
and reality is right
1%
100%
of the
of the
time.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like if you're in separation right now, and this is like kicking the butt, and I'm diving straight into it. I didn't even say hello. It's like thank you for tuning in. But diving straight in, it's like that is what we've been talking about. Is reality is right 100% of the time. So if you're not in union with your twin right now, if you're not receiving communication, then it is what you are aligned with, and that is a big kick in the bum, isn't it? When you go, wow, I've been doing all this work. I'm ascended. I'm whatever story that you're telling yourself that justifies you staying on a twin flame journey and hoping for the journey to turn around and come back to you. But then you get this, someone like me out on YouTube who's going, if you're not in union with your twin, reality is right 100% of the time. That's my phone. Should probably turn that off. Do you want to put that aside? Yeah, so reality is right 100% of the time. I didn't turn my phone off, and of course it's going to ring in a reading. So to have me say something like that to you might feel like it's an aggressive statement to go divine feminine, and we do read from the perspective of the divine feminine because that's who we connect to the most, that's who we talk to the most often. If you're not in communication with your twin, if you are not in union with your twin, then that is perfectly what you are aligned with. And doesn't that suck to hear it? I remember when I was going through that scenario and listening to these messages going, reality is right 100% of the time. If you've not got what you think you want, then it's not what you're aligned with. And you have to build the alignment first. You have to be in alignment first before the universe will conspire with you to bring around what you want. Now, what's going to happen over the next little bit with all of these energies firing up the way that they're going to is that you're going to have all of your feelings come right up to the surface. You're going to have this push to want to communicate or receive communication, and it's going to feel like like a bomb might go off inside of you that you're not having the communication that you want. And we make a big song and dance in this divine community, don't we, about what surrender is. And I've been having big conversations around the ideals of surrender and leaning into the ideal that if you are in separation from your twin and you are receiving little to no communication, then you are perfectly where you're meant to be according to what you are aligned with. So you might think on some level that you should already be in union or that communication should be happening for whatever reason that you've told yourself. But if it's not here, and this is not me being mean or horrible or harsh or wanting to upset anyone, if you're not in union, it's because you're not actually aligned with it. Right? When you are aligned with it, it manifests. That's the bottom line. So during this next round of energies, it's going to feel really uncomfortable that you are out of alignment with what you think you want. Your brain tells you want union, but you're obviously holding in your energy field somewhere a misalignment to bringing your union forward. And the kicker is when it rises to the surface under like a pressure cooker like we've got brewing, is that you should be able to identify where the blocks are to you moving into a space of surrender. Surrender, one, to the fact that you are a twin flame. If you're watching these readings, then if you found this information, I'm going to suggest it's highly likely that you are on a twin flame soul ascension journey, because the information we provide is yes, your twin flame is on a journey back to you, and any reader can do a reading and tell you that your twin is coming back. But what we really want to unpack is what energies are at force to get you there, right? Yes, you are on a journey to union, but if everything doesn't align the way it's supposed to, if you do not come into alignment, if your core beliefs, if the energy that you hold in your heart space does not align, you can think it all day long. Reality will be right 100%. If you are not in union, then you are out of alignment with union. And if you can hold that as a truth throughout the next little bit, it might give you something to hang your hat on. But I really wanted to read about it because we've heard it like several times today. Yeah, it's, Ricky likes to listen to motivational speakers. Yeah, and we were driving
at 5 o'clock in the morning.
At 5 o'clock in the morning, we're driving around on the way to work, and we're listening to motivational speakers tell us that if you don't have what it is that you're working on, you're out of alignment with it, and that's kind of rattled with me all day. Going,
what you think is your reality?
What you think?
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you think you're dumb, you're dumb. If you're the only person that can change it is you.
What you believe is true is correct. So if you believe that your twin is always going to run and you're not a twin flame and this journey is bogus, you're correct. That's what you'll align with. You can change that alignment. And I'm the first to say that I tapped out. I didn't want to align with it. Did it come around for me when I was out of alignment? No. It did not come around until I was fully aligned with the journey, and we certainly did not hold harmonious union till we were both aligned with the journey. So reality is right 100% of the time. Let's hold on to that as we do our reading Divine Feminine and see what it is that you're thinking. And you've got 3 brains. This is my last thing before I draw, because I'll talk all day. My last thing before I draw a reading. You've got 3 brains, right? So you've got your reptilian brain, you've got your mammalian brain, and then you've got your neocortex. That is your mind brain, the one that's up in your head. Then you've got neural tissue in your heart space, which is your heart brain, and you've got neural tissue in your gut. Now, all of these are talking to each other like trillions of times a day. Information is going back and forth at a rate of knots that you can't even fathom. Now, your mind, depending on how well you operate that piece of biotechnology, is running largely on autopilot. And as you move through your ascension journey, you'll learn to be able to control that better. You do through meditation, through quieting your mind, through learning breathing techniques. There's a bunch of things that you can do to learn to quiet your mind and get your mind to slow down so you get more control of what you're thinking, and the stuff that's on autopilot oh, excuse me, that might be keeping you out of alignment. But secondly, let's talk about your heart brain, and that biophonetic energy that's coming out of that heart space is actually way more potent than what you're thinking. So what you're actually holding in that heart energy space is going to have more impact on what you're manifesting than what you're thinking about. So your brain might sit there and go, I really want my twin to come back. I'll do whatever it takes to make this scenario turn around. I'm really ready for it, universe. I'm really, really ready. But the biophonetic energy coming out of your heart space and out of your gut space, if the energies in there have not been healed, if those energies are not in alignment, if your core belief is not in alignment with what's going on, it's not going to matter what you're thinking. The thought belief is not enough when you've got brain tissue, neuro cells in your heart space and in your gut. You need them all talking in alignment. And I think one really quick way to sort of decide whether you've got and be legit honest with yourself when I say this to you, because it was something that it's an exercise I did, and I had to go toe to toe in the mirror and go, righto, this is what I really think about twin flames in union. I was jealous. I was like, So when we're sitting here and we're talking to you and we're going, Ricky and I have got harmonious union, we've done all our work, we're on mission, yay, that's super exciting. You will have a response to that somewhere, which will tell you what your actual alignment to this scenario is. You'll either be, if you're genuinely happy, you'll have all of those centers will fire and you'll go, oh, I'm so happy for Ricky and Susie. They've come into union. They're coming back to help. That makes me feel really great. But the voice I actually want you to listen to is any voice that goes, well, I'm jealous and I have some kind of negative response to the fact that they've done it and I haven't. And that's not to say that you don't like us and you're not happy for us and that you're not still working, but this is how you identify how close you're in alignment to what you actually want. Because if you're looking at something that you want, and if this is what you want, and you look at it, and there's in your energy centers somewhere, you're holding some kind of vibe against it that has some kind of low vibe, some kind of misgruntled energy that goes, you know, I have some kind of, you know, like another way to put it, you go to the gym, you want to lose weight, right?
Like that
And
negative energy.
yeah, you're like you're pounding away on the treadmill, but nothing's actually happening to your body. And Barbie walks in, and she's done all the work, and she's looking amazing. She's, you know, she's fit. She's everything that your mind tells you want to be. But somewhere there's a little voice that goes, "Bitch." You know, you're looking at her, and in some way you're looking at me and Ricky going, bitch. You know, like there's some kind of, if that reaction is playing out, and I'm not saying everyone will have it, I'm just saying get very, very honest with yourself and go, is there a little voice inside of your head that looks at a harmonious union and goes, bitch, right? That it's not happened for you yet. That'll tell you how close you are to your harmonious union, because if there's that resonance, the universe will not give you what you despise. And like looking at Barbie in the gym and you're going, that's the body I want, but I actually am going to send some negative juju that way. The universe is not going to manifest that for you. The idea is to get into a vibe of neutral or a vibe of gratitude, and that's where the universe is going to start to align with your thoughts and your core beliefs. And you're going to have to dig for where the base of those core beliefs are. And I can't tell you what it is. You know, I can't tell you where the base of that sits. It's different for everybody, and you have to feel it to heal it. And wow, didn't I get a rant on already? Like it's a passion ideal of mine.
So is get this reading started.
Let's draw some cards, lady. Come on. Oh, you went there. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Righto. We've got the Fool. We've got the Three of Wands. We've got the Two of Swords. We've got the Nine of Swords. And we've got the Six of Pentacles. We've got underneath the deck the Six of Cups. We've got the Page of Swords, the Ten of Wands, Page of Wands, Empress, and the Seven of Pentacles. See, isn't this a very different read when we're throwing this at your feet, Divine Feminine, and we're going, reality is right 100% of the time. That's the focus of the reading, because I don't want to get out here on YouTube and just give you fluff and nonsense. I want to give you stuff you can work on, because I've sat in that place of not knowing what to do when someone goes, oh, you just got to surrender. You just got to do your work. You know, what does that even mean? What does it mean? I want to give you real life, practical things that you can, you know, you can go, well, that's a concept that I really need to think about. Okay, so the past, communication, Ten of Wands. Like, seriously, this is what I led the reading with. What are you thinking about with this burden that you have, right? This burden that you have from the past, whether it's your twin flame, any issues that you've had growing up. This can go back to childhood issues. This can go back to past life issues. But you're going to get up in your feels. You're going to get up in your feels about the past and wanting to get intimate with this, you know, if it's your twin that you particularly focus on. Here's the divine sitting behind there giving you some kind of push. We've got Venus and Cancer dancing. Here you are on your ascension staircase, and you're going to stop and get all up in your feels and want to communicate. The Page of Swords is the messenger of tarot. And look at this. Here I am, just burden, burden, burden. Look at this, all this fire energy on your back of just going, I'm feeling all the feels of everything that I've been through in the past. My heart space is yearning for something that I've lost. Here, I just want to communicate. I just want to get to the kicker and the problem. And Ten of Wands comes in, all of those fiery wands on your back. Mercury and Leo dancing, going, oh, it's such a burden not to be able to communicate things that I'm feeling, not to be able to work through the truth of what I'm going through. What have we got on the next layer? We've got the Page of Wands, the Empress, and the Seven of Pentacles. Again, look, I want to put these two pages side by side. You know, standing at the starting line under this next cycle, wanting to communicate your passions, your fiery energies. You don't want to be sitting stagnant at this point in time. But the universe is at the, you know, if you've got communication with your twin, by and large, it appears to be like breadcrumbing communication. Like, it doesn't feel like it's really like worthy. It's not getting you where you want to go. Communication. So to have these 2 pages as the push from underneath the deck, yes, there we got the past. The the Venus and Cancer dance of excuse me, getting you in your feels about everything that you've been through and everything you want to say, everything you want to express, so that you can move past this energy in the past. And you've got these 2 pages that sit at the starting line, this fiery, passionate page of wands, this communicative page of swords. This energy feels like it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be a real push against you to take some level of action. Look, Empress. You're in the Empress, but what I want to tell you is you are pre-harvest, right? The universe says, yes, I know you're in the energy of the Empress. I know you want to express what you feel. I know you want to communicate. I know you want to talk. I know all of those things. I'm going to push all of those forces against you, and then I'm going to tell you you're not ready. How sucky is this energy? It's sucky, and this is why we're out here taking the temperature of this energy every day, because we know the struggle that this is. You are sitting full-blown Empress energy. The universe knows it, and they're going, you're on hold. Your harvest has not fruited yet. What you believe is true, and you are not yet in it. You might be, the push is you might be the Empress, but you have not got the harvest yet. You are not aligned with the harvest yet. If you were, your union would be here, and that's a brutal truth to hear. It's brutal when somebody tells you that you've done all of this work, that you can sit in Empress energy, that the universe would push this against you, that you want to connect, you want to communicate, the past is biting you, you're under the burden of the 10 of Wands, and it says, actually, where are you? There, 7 of Pentacles, you're pre-harvest. What? Why? And this is the dig, Divine Feminine, is going, where are we out of alignment? Because this is the next phase of the work. If you are in the pre-harvest, the next phase, the 8 of Pentacles, the very next card that comes out is being on mission, right? That 8 of Pentacles, the next step past this one. If this is pre-harvest, the next one is being on mission. And Spirit is saying, I see you, Empress. I see you. And I know pre-harvest sucks. It sucks. All right. It's going to be another big read, isn't it? I just feel it. I've been thinking about it all day. The Wheel of Fortune. So this comes out because it does want to do a 180 on you, right? It does. You have been in all of this burden energy, and this card has been coming out a little bit relentlessly, hasn't it? 10 of Wands. We've been reading that a lot. The universe does want to get you to the next phase of the journey. And how does the universe get you to ascend? It puts you through lessons and graduations. And every time you go through the next phase of the journey, it feels like you go through like a 180. Doesn't always feel like it's a positive, but the universe wants you to see it that way. How I'm seeing this showing up in your energy as the push from the universe right now is that it's a change in the thinking. This is what's been upon me all day. And look, we do have that Ace of Swords sitting there. I wasn't going to go there, but it's there, and it's jumping into my vision. It does want to change your thinking. Now, when I say thinking, I'm not just talking about the brain that's in your skull. I'm going to change your thinking. It has to be in the neural tissue that exists in your gut, in your heart, and in your skull. Like every bit of that equation has to be aligned with harmonious union, or aligned with understanding what your twin flame journey is in being in separation and oneness. And more than what's in your skull, your heart space has to be aligned. Because your heart space will give you away. Like I said, you might look in at Ricky and I and go, oh, I'm so happy for them. I'm so glad that I get to connect. And you give all us that really lovely, joyous energy that we're receiving. But what is your private voice saying to you? If you want to call us bitch, fine. But own it. Own that you have that voice playing out that actually maligns what you want. Right? This is a powerful way to get to the core of what you actually feel about union, is look at what you want and actually listen to what that private voice is saying to you. This has got nothing to do with the love that you feel for your twin flame or where you want to go, or it's not saying that you hold anything against Ricky and I. We know that that's not what plays out. It's like looking, I would do it. I would watch Jeff and Shalia way back in the day when I first started. I would watch Jeff and Shalia. I'd watch Ray from Gold Twin Flames, and I'd look at them and go, oh, I'm so jealous. How have they done it? I would recognize that I held some kind of, I didn't know I was doing it back then until somebody woke me up to it and went, you're actually dissing what you want. You're actually got a private voice that is groaning at the very thing you want. What do you think the universe is listening to? And the universe wants to sit in neutral, right? So it wants you to sit in a place of gratitude, because that's where it creates from. And if what you're doing is looking at the thing you want and you're growling at it, the universe is going, oh, we don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to be the thing that you hate. It will not create what you want if you hold that level of resistance to it. And I want to say to you, Divine Feminine, call it out. It's no skin off our nose if you look at it and go, bitch, look at those two.
Yeah.
We get it.
We get it. Definitely understand it.
Yeah. Righto. So, how are you showing up, Divine Feminine? I like this for you, the Fool. That is, it's pretty happy-go-lucky, even if it's a surface energy, right? If what's going on is that you're sitting in a place that goes, you're showing the world, like you're just on your path, you're on your ascension, you're doing what's required of you, but this is in a really earthly way. So anybody looking in on you right now probably sees you just getting about your business, like you're not worried about whether you fall off the path anymore. Like this is less strenuous than the energy that you've been on, even though you've got this firecracker energy coming up. This is you getting on your path and on your mission, even if you don't know where it's taking you right now, even if the thinking right now, like I said, the reason I'm saying that reality's right 100% of the time is because this Fool has to get to this alignment before you bring in divine union. So this is going that you are getting on your way, you're doing what needs to be done, and Spirit might be just delivering, saying, well, here's the next piece of the puzzle, Divine Feminine. I want to push you to the next layer. I want you to move the wheel a 180, and let's see what it looks like from the other side of the coin. Empress, you are pre-harvest, right? I've got you here. You're ready to go. Let's spin that wheel one more time. DJ, round we go. Let's get on the journey. Let's start taking this in. And what you're showing the world, even if it's not necessarily the truth of what's going on in your soul space, which we'll dive into a little bit, you're having a go at being more lighthearted, and that is to be incredibly commended, given the weight of energy that's coming upon you. Zero. At the Fool, you're at the start of the major arcana, and like I said, we've talked about this transition energy of going, when you move into, you don't know how long this push will be. You don't know how many contractions will happen before you get to graduate or birth the new phase of the journey. You don't know how long it will take you, but the Fool is on their way, and that's to be commended in this new energy. In your soul space, you really want to call that ship in, right? So you've got these choices over here, and here you're focused on this wand that's over in the distance. Here you've got the divine peeking out from behind the sun, and the path that leads to the decisions that like these are really solid decisions. And I've been saying sort of the lead up to this energy, there's been a lot of, you're probably, the questions that you ask are probably leading you to ask more questions than what they're actually giving you answers. And what this new energy is going to bring about is that you start to get answers. So all the am I questions are going to turn into the I ams. So you're selecting, you know who you are in your soul, right? If you surrender, I am a twin flame. I am on my path. Here is my wand. Here is the divine. I know who I am. I'm getting on mission. This is happening. My Fool's journey is to be a twin flame on mission. If I have to walk it alone, I will, and I'm going to be okay with it. And is that a new way of thinking? Is it a new way of thinking? Have you let go of the need to wrangle this person into your version of events? If you have, that's truly to be commended, because this energy is gonna feel a bit bumpy. And if you've chosen solidarity to go, I am a twin flame, and I accept whatever the outcome is of following that path. And I always said to anyone who kind of, because I went through this before it was cool, like I discovered this way back when not people weren't talking about it. You go, oh, I'm on this path, and they look at you like you crackers. It's like,
What are you on?
Yeah, what are you on? Oh my gosh, look at her go. What's her new ideal? But when you get on this path, and I don't know what I was going to say now. I got lost in the bit that people thought I was crazy. It'll come back to me. But like truly choosing this solidarity, particularly under this this energy that's got you fired up and going, I will get on mission. I know what I was going to say. Is that I would say to people when they looked at me and go, what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if this twin flame rubbish is just rubbish? What if believing in Christ consciousness, what if that's rubbish? What if all of these things that you are choosing in this wand and in following the divine, what if it's all rubbish? And mind you, I was making art about this stuff and putting it on gallery walls, and I was having a crack at trying to understand and share this energy. What if you're wrong, Suze? And my answer to that was always, I would have lived a better life believing in the principles, because the principles of twin flames is unconditional love, faith, hope, caring about the planet, caring about the people that live here, wanting to be a better version of yourself. The planet is rising in vibration. I want to align with that. I think the principles of a twin flame journey are worth pursuing. Whether or not you get the outcome that currently in this previous way of thinking, the way that you've been thinking, going, I need the relationship to be satisfied as a twin flame. I want to say to you that what you need is the journey to be satisfied as a twin flame, because the journey itself is laden with rewards. Laden with rewards if you can shift your thinking 180 to know that that's what it's all about. Is the relationship, like when you go in inverted commas, relationship, is it worth the fight? Absolutely. Is it a guarantee? No. Will you be rewarded anyway if you, with solidarity, align with the divine, understand separation and oneness, be connected, and pursue this? Pursue this. You won't regret what you learn. And will you have a much higher chance of aligning with your blessing and get you out of the pre-harvest? Yeah, you will. Do not expect it as an outcome, but it's certainly up there on the shelf as, I tell you what, you won't get it if you don't do it.
That's it.
That's the kicker.
Yep.
You won't get it if you don't do it, and you'll still have, you do it, you don't get your union, the rewards are still there. It's worth pursuing. Did that matter? Oh, I feel like I talked that around, but I think I got the message across. It's worth it. Over here, look, what's your challenge? Again, look, this is where I was leaning, is the challenge to really have a voice about this and pursue what it is to be a twin flame? Or do I, I'm not sure that I really want to expose how crazy this journey is. I don't really have many people to talk to about it. It's a challenge to really have a voice and to move yourself onto a path where you risk being exposed for what you're pursuing, and how woo-woo it can seem to anyone who has, well, it is. I know you're laughing at me. It's woo-woo. And I used to feel that. It's like if I would, I would pick very carefully who I would talk to, and I had a very close circle of friends, and I would reach out to the collective. But it's very, very confusing to be the only person really in your, your social set that feels this stuff, and goes, oh my gosh,
No one understood it.
No. And it could be isolating at times. So like the Two of Swords comes out, does, it can be decisions to make. But what I'm feeling in this scenario is it's challenging to have a voice about what you're doing and where you're going and why you're choosing to pursue the path that you're on. Over here, Divine Feminine, look, again, the dream space comes out. How relentless are we getting this cut? This is the advice from Spirit. So we want to do a 180, right? We want to go, the way I'm thinking is all I'm going to really focus on is the ascension path, and I'm going to let spirit guide me there, and I'm going to let go of control. I'm going to sit in the energy of the Fool, and the road will rise up to meet me, right? The road will rise up, and the steps will be put under my feet all the way until I get to that point where I've got the Wheel of Fortune waiting for me, that change of energy, and I will pursue my twin flame path with solidarity. I will. There's no turning it around. As Spirit goes, righto, you're on mission. Here we go. Here is what I need you to understand. This information will start bombarding you in your sleep. It will hit you on the side of a bus. You'll be watching a movie. It'll keep you up at night putting the puzzle pieces together. This is an ascension ladder of ideals that the divine will bring to you. And it's like, can you even believe that this has come through again? This is what we got as the push from the universe. I think these 2 cards came out for Divine Feminine. 3, even. Yeah. In yesterday's read, but it really is these pennies from heaven here in your 5D realm. They just want to keep giving to you, Divine Feminine. They want to keep giving you information, keep giving you opportunities to learn and grow and to walk with the divine in solidarity. They want to give you the information that you need to align all of your energy centers with holding harmonious union. They want to give you everything that you need. The kicker is, are you ready to receive? And what I want to say, by and large, yeah, you are. Look at you on this path, being light-hearted and open and willing to receive this information from the divine, these pennies from heaven. I see them as downloads and synchronicities and information. Maybe there's something that I give you today that you go, oh, that's a penny from heaven that I hadn't had before. That's a little piece of wisdom that I didn't understand. This is going to rain down on you in the next cycle, Divine Feminine, if you're aligning and surrendering. When I say surrender, it's saying I am a twin flame. My soul ascension path is via the twin flame journey. Now, every soul is on an ascension journey. I say that repetitively. But your choice, if you're here and this information is resonating and you're saying, I surrender, I am a twin flame, the divine is going to rain down synchronicities, information, and insights on you over this next cycle. What have you got for me for the divine masculine? Oh, really? Oh my gosh. I almost want to burn this card from that deck. It just has come out relentlessly. It's like you've got magnets on your shuffling that it keeps coming out. Again, we've got the divine masculine. It's a really highly repetitive message, juggling 5D and 3D. And look, in this interpretation of the card, he's looking down at the lower realm. We've got the divine ocean traveling there behind him. The ships, the ships are sailing by without him. He's still sitting there going, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Listen to the divine, get on mission, or should I just continue with what I've got? And at the moment, he's going, I shall just continue with what I've got. What have you got as how he's showing up in the world? Whew. I actually kind of like this, because what we've just said is he's sitting here thinking, really tossing up these ideas. Should I do this? Should I do that? But this has him actually in a space of meditation where he actually has half a chance to heal some of his centers, start to find out what's holding him back. But maybe in this meditation space, the divine is starting to bring through swords of wisdom. Is it possible that he's going to start to, I really hope that the next reading we don't see this again.
No.
Right? This juggling.
Yeah,
Come
so
on.
repetitive.
It is. So it's like the information is coming through, but he's still tossing up, will I listen to it? But I like that this is coming through, and even look at this, is like, look how serious this energy is. And if you two are mirrors, or, like there's some kind of polarity playing out, you're going, I'm going to go on this path really in a light-hearted but very conscious way, trusting the divine. He's going into it in a very serious meditative way, really considering what that looks like. This to me feels like swords of wisdom. I can't sort of escape looking at these. Like, like one of these might actually drop into his heart and wake him up and go, ow, that hurt. What is that all about? Let's start to figure it out. And it's almost, I don't know, it's like all of these colours from the window are getting to me as well. And there's a story playing out there of, you know, some level of, you know, there's one that's higher, there's one that's lower, and it's very colourful. There's a lot going on with giving energy. Like, oh, I will get to the bottom of that. I'm feeling like I haven't quite got to the. Oh, see, I needed the other card. Look, giving. The divine is giving to the masculine. Look at all the colours in this card, right? And look at all the colours in this card. Do you see how those just feel like, you know, like, I don't know, I just feel like I want to put the two together. Ten of Pentacles in the soul space. You get very focused on solidarity, and guess what starts to wake up in the soul space of the divine masculine? We've got all of this abundance raining down, right? All of this is going in your soul space. I can give you everything that you want. Just make a decision. Listen to my voice. In meditation, I'm showing you this magical image of giving. I just see that as giving, and I'm going to drop this sword into you to wake you up to what you could step into if you will just listen and start to get on mission. And I feel like I'm aggressive at the masculine all the time, don't I? Like I'm trying to, like, I'm always in trouble for doing this, like just always pointing my finger and like I've got something to say. But Ten of Pentacles in that space. I'm really drawn to these two as well. And white dogs is a thing right now. It's a you know, like I've had another synchronicity play out in my close circle with white dogs being something to pay particular attention to. And in this scenario, they're very, very loyal and at the feet of the master. And in the synchronicities that we're exploring, you know, like Ricky and I talk about, you do these treasure hunts with the divine and you go follow the dots, tell the story. Well, white dogs come to us in as a story to follow. And one of the stories is to be reminded that you're a good person, that you have a good heart. And I'm calling you out, Shelley, and I'm saying hello. You are a good person, you have a good heart, you're abundant and you're beautiful and you're amazing. And this is this raining down on you. This divine connection is alive and well in your soul. You have somebody protecting you. You've always had a knight that's walked through you. And see, he doesn't look like a knight in that scenario, but I do see it as somebody wise and somebody who's walked a journey as a protector. Look at this solid structure that you have to lean back on, and you've got this elder here who's wise. You've got loyalty in your life. These two white dogs, and in the little puzzle that we've been following, these were coming through as guardians that have been recognized throughout a long course of history. So to me, in this soul space, there's a lot going on in this card that says to the masculine, my gosh, I'm going to pierce your soul. Like I can't even make up that's kind of where my head is going. And look at all the colors in here, and there's an energy of giving or connecting, receiving, a level of blessing is what I want to say. And here in the soul space, you've got this really complex Ten of Pentacles, and I'm seeing a bunch of messages come out. So can you imagine if you're the divine masculine and you're sitting in this space? I'm here at this part of the journey going, wow, that's some complex energies raining down. No wonder he goes, I don't know if I want to look at this higher pentacle. It feels like a lot. I might just focus on what I've actually got. Thank you very much. What have we got? Oh, really? I've said a lot, don't I? In the challenge, look. The divine lovers. Wow. Should I be surprised that this come out, or should I just go, yeah, it's about time? The major arcana of the divine lovers really does come about to understand the complexities of separateness and oneness. And, you know, this is a twin flame card 101 versus the Two of Cups is lovely, but the divine lovers, particularly when there's some level of conflict or some level of push about to take place. And look what we were saying down here, divine feminine. you had these two forces at play, this communication and passion, right, that wanted to come into play. You've got these energies from the past coming into play. You've got 10 of Wands, the Empress, and you're sitting in pre-harvest, right? So there's some massive energies playing against this connection, playing against the divine feminine. And if you are two vessels connected by one soul blueprint, and we do the old split particle theory, force is being applied to one is being received by that. Like, they could be, like, as in science tells us, they're currently splitting them 20 miles apart. They're applying a force on one particle, and the particle well over here is reacting. There's no direct force being applied upon it. The in-between space looks like there's nothing in between them. Looks like there's nothing. But there is something in the nothing that is called entanglement, right? These two particles have entanglement between them. And I'm going to use it as this reference. See this cloud here? So the divine here, he scooped up this original cup of source energy. He poured some of it into the feminine, some of it into, or let's go half and half. He gave half here, half there. But their connection, the entanglement remains. Even though particles went this way, particles went that way, the entanglement remained. The force that's applied upon this one, because of this entanglement, will affect the other. And that's a principle that I will repeat over and over and over and over again, because it is the core of why twins affect each other. So now we've got in the challenge space, you've got this major arcana, higher divine order lovers, that also comes with big decisions and big challenges, everything that comes against them. You're connected and you're confused. And then the divine masculine goes, well, if you don't know what you want, if you don't know if this is a thing, and you seem to have had this figured out for a while, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know what to do with you? If you don't know, if you're confused, you don't want to claim that you're a twin flame. Why should I claim I'm a twin flame? And it's not that you have to physically have the conversation, because I'm talking about entanglement here. I'm not talking about the physicality. I'm going, are you, twin flame, going to declare your journey to yourself? Are you going to continue to look at Ricky and me and go, bitch? Or are you going to go, that's what I want, and I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it with every center that I have. And I want you to be red hot honest about this. You know, like, you might think I'm talking crap, and you go, I don't say that about twin flames. Only you'll know if you hold this energy, if you are actually holding some kind of disgruntlement towards the thing you want. And if you are, here is the time where you get real and you hear that voice that is putting that energy that is keeping you out of alignment. I'm going to say it again. Reality is right 100% of the time. If you did not have a misalignment to your union, you would be in union. And that's me being brutal, because I'm not a sugarcoater. I want to help. So I feel like I'm far better to give you the tools that helped me understand the process to the point that I'm sitting on this side of it. So if I sound like I'm being brutal, I'm not trying to be harsh and cold. I really want to help. And this is one of those principles that I really had to wrap my head around, is that if I was aligned with my union, it would have been there. So if I'm not, somewhere I hold some disgruntlement towards it that I need to sort out. Okay, so confusion for you, confusion for the twin, for your twin, the divine masculine. What have you got as advice? Oh, really? The sun! Gee, wow. I've got a few things I want to say about this. It's like, for the sun to come out as the advice card under the push of this, like these energies, right? Of, you've got under here that you've got a push that you want to communicate, that you feel the energy, that, you know, the past is bubbling back up, you're in the Empress energy, that you're in pre-harvest energy, right? And here comes the divine masculine, riding in on his lovely horse, happy and carefree, probably willing to start to make, oh, this is coming in as advice. So it's like he's feeling it too, is what I want to say. All of this fiery energy from the sun. Sunflowers, they couldn't be any happier if they tried. And they reach for sunlight. They reach for that energy from the sun. So the advice from spirit to the divine masculine is start to feel the sun. Start to feel the warmth of the connection. Start to feel what it's like to reach towards the light. Wow, I really love that the sun card has come in there for the divine masculine as advice. Now, my big kicker on this is the divine masculine will have free will. So he may feel the push of the sun, but what will he do? Let's have a look at a light. Oh, look at those sunflowers. I've got to think about sunflowers. When they come out as advice, it's always to me as point your face towards the sun. That's where the happiness is. That's where the abundance is. And like on your journey, wherever it was over here, look, I said, here's the divine. He's got his little sneaky sunshine happening here behind the hill. You get on your path and there's this solidarity. And here too, the divine masculine says, I want you to chase the sun as well. Like to me, it's like there's like a push for you both to chase the divine right now, which I know that sounds trite given that we all know that twin flames are supposed to do that, but this is a genuine push, isn't it? It's a genuine push. Okay, 5 of Swords, likely outcome. This is a kicker, isn't it? So let's say, divine masculine, you feel this warmth on your back under this push. You can feel, and remember we're talking that twin flames, what force is applied upon one will affect the other, right? So divine feminine, here you are quivering under the weight of all these energies because you want to reach out, you want to fix things. And divine masculine over here is going, oh, I feel that push. I feel like I should reach back out and do something. The communication that comes in, and this is where it could feel like it gets bumpy. The communication that comes in might not serve what you want it to serve. Divine masculine might feel like he has some level of victory in claiming these swords, but this collateral damage on the ground is going still not fully addressing the full weight of the issue. And the 5 of Swords still does sit well outside of that divine water that's behind him here. He's still got his back to the divine. So this push from communication, if he hasn't done ascension work, could be that, hey, how you going message. Hey, what you doing? What you up to? It's been a while. What you up to? Yeah. So it's like asking very practical questions. There's no cups in this communication. And it might feel like, oh, I reached out. I feel really, really good. But what did it actually achieve? What did that? And it might leave divine feminine going, well, what the? You know, was there any really point to you making that phone call to connecting? So it might be that it feels like a bit of a victory that this communication comes in, but I don't see it as the communication that really, it's that half-baked communication still, or that you might need to go back in the oven and cook a little bit more before I really want to eat this meal. And your outcome is really the communication with the divine. So whatever comes in through here, divine feminine, if your world gets rocked or your world gets rattled, and I'm not saying that every connection will experience this in the same way. It's impossible for me to read the free will of the entire collective. There's too many people, too many scenarios playing out. This is a push from the universe. And how each individual uses their free will to respond is completely up to them. But the push here is that the divine masculine is seeking some level of victory, but there will be a level of collateral damage. It will not feel like it's a complete victory. And the divine still travels over there outside of his reach, while divine feminine is actually in the water. She's over here, masculine. Come on, turn around, have a look. She's over here receiving all this wisdom from the universe. Now, you might not look when I hold him like that, he's looking over at her here. But if he had his feet in the water, it might make some more sense. He might understand what her process is a little more clearly. So this could indicate communication, but what I want to say to you is, if it is, it feels breadcrumby to me, and like you might still want to just go, yeah, let's just talk to the universe some more before I really indulge with what this communication is, because this push really is for getting in your feels and wanting to communicate. So it wouldn't be surprising if there was a little how you going amongst that mix. What have we got? Bottom of the deck. What have we got? 6. Ah, yeah. Oh, right. Oh, do I go? See, look, 10 of Wands. It's in there, and you had it over here too. So it's a repeating message.
Yeah.
Wanting to get to the end of the burden. Like the push is the same on both sides. If we dig it, if we dig that from both sides. But look at you, Divine Feminine. You've taken a knee. You've gone, I don't want to carry this anymore. I've had enough. Whereas Divine Masculine, I will soldier on. I will carry my burden. Sorry. Not to pick on you. But
That's okay.
we're not unfamiliar with this energy. Sometimes it's hard to ask for help and put your heart out on your sleeve. But we hope that the push from the universe will help you put your burden down, Divine Masculine, and know that the collective is here and waiting. We can't wait to welcome you in and show you what to do with all this burden. Or show you, teach you, help. However that scenario plays out. I'm not that bossy, honestly.
Well, if you put it down.
We'll do our best.
It looks heavy.
Well, was it?
Well, it was very heavy.
Was it heavy?
That was definitely heavy. We had to put it down. Break my back.
It does break your back. And look, Divine Feminine says it broke my back too. I had to take a knee. And Divine Masculine is going, look, still got the back turn, still carrying the burden, and she's like, enough already. Enough. So let's have a look. What's in this? Oh, have we got the Magician again? Nice. Judgment. Oh, this is good. I like this. And the Emperor and the Magician. Gee, that's a power pact, isn't it? It's like Major Arcana the whole way. Judgment, standing before the divine, and really, this is what I was feeling over here, right? Like really the divine dropping a sword of truth into the Divine Masculine and going, wake up. Look, even with the trumpet. Can you imagine you're lying there? Can we do it? You're lying there asleep, meditating, and the divine goes with the trumpet and says, wake up, you've got a job to do. You are here as a twin flame. I want you on mission. You're meant to be carving a path for humanity to rise up. And here I'm here to sound the trumpet to say it's time. It's time for you to hear the message. It's time for you to stop juggling what it is that you hear me telling you to do and start to get on board with your, be a Divine Masculine. And I'm going to say Aries today. I don't know how many times I've called him Capricorn. There's got to be something in it. I haven't got to the bottom of it. But he is connected with the energy of Aries. So that's a pretty fiery energy in and of itself. And then you've got the Magician, this transformation from being asleep. Here you are showing the world I'm asleep and I'm meditating and healing and I'm doing what I need to do. I'm lying on my sword of truth, but here comes the sword from the divine to wake you up. And not only do you get the alarm clock with the trumpet as well. It says, come on, get on board. You've got work to do. You're a leader. The Emperor leads. They protect the people. They are the ones who know what's going on. And Divine Masculine, you might not understand what the mission is yet, but this is you. You and your Empress. This is what the divine has called of you. The Emperor and the Empress. The push is on for both of you to rise up in balance as the union you're meant to be and do the work that the divine wants you to do. In this depiction, the Empress has got her back to you. You know why? Because she's waiting. She's doing her work. She's ready for you to join the party. And how are you going to get there? You're going to transform. You are going to transform. And I think, like if we reflect on your Divine Masculine journey, Ricky, the Magician would ring true. There's been a massive transformation into this Emperor energy.
Yep.
Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah.
It's like, didn't even know. Just all of a sudden, it was just, I got to do something.
Yeah.
And I just started doing things differently.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really give up. I sort of, weaned my way off all the alcohol and drugs and all that stuff. But it was hard work.
It
Well,
was.
yeah,
And it was a push.
it was a push. It was just like a switch.
A switch went off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't, and I think this is a message that I really want to share with Divine Feminine, is because I think a lot of Divine Feminine want to fix their masculine into union. And I think if we reflect on our journey, is like, you did this, like this was your push.
It wasn't a push so much from you to say, hurry up, you need to change. It was, we were in separation with no contact, 100% no contact. Had no idea where you were, what you were doing, even if you were still in town. And then, yeah, I just decided to just figure shit out and work on myself and dig a little deeper.
It was your push.
Yeah.
It came from the divine and you. Whatever that process was that unfolded, I got the fruit of it, right? Here was that this, and this is what I'm saying for Divine Feminine. You're sitting in pre-harvest, and you're the emperor. And what are you waiting for? You're waiting for the process that Ricky just described. It's not for you to swing in and fix them. It's not for you to swing in and say, I mean, I joke about, saying shut up and fly straight, but like that, it wasn't me hitting him over the head and going, well, if you don't do this, then it wasn't at all. It was like going,
we didn't even speak about it. Like
we didn't.
We just come back into union, and just through conversations,
it happened.
We sort of figured out we were on the same sort of journey.
Yeah.
We were just at different levels in the journey.
It was like magic. Honestly, it's like when people go, what was the magic tonic that turned it all around? And I don't have an answer other than I got on with what I needed to do.
We just got on with our own lives for a bit, and then, I don't know, he decided to show up in my dream one night, and I then get a message out of the blue, and we have union, and it's become harmonious.
Yeah, it's like this energy, this magician energy, and can you attribute it anything other than to getting on with mission, like going, this is just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to really, really focus on what needs to be done, and that's all there is to it. And it is like, I don't want to harp on, but it's like magic that, you just could not fathom. And I know we've said it in the last reading, the mess that we were to the harmony that we're in, you can attribute to some level of alchemy that has played out at the hands of the divine, because that's the only answer I can come up with.
Reality is 100%.
Yeah, reality is right 100%, and we got to the place where we aligned with it, where we aligned with the union. Okay, so having had that beautiful, thank you for sharing, and it is being super vulnerable to share your story and everything that it is. And I know that like you can be a bit shy and stuff, so but I think it's a really powerful thing. And I know when I was sitting in that place of wondering what was happening with you, I would have loved to have heard a divine masculine give their version of events, and so it's I think it's really super powerful. And the reason I kind of lent in there, because look at this energy, which is why I go, it's really amazing that you're here to be able to give this insight, because this is defensive energy of really like going, it's a very, it's between the masculine and the divine, what's going on, and he might be pushing it against it. And we've had this card on repeat as well. And this one as well. And there's a little bit of friction energy where he wants to fight against it a little bit, or not really. I
wasn't ready to give up the party.
Hell no. Hell to the no. Very, very defensive against the change.
Not ready.
Not ready to give up. Was this on the top?
Yeah.
Because you was a fool. You was a partying fool.
Partying fool, walking my dogs.
Sorry, we digress. The push from the universe really is this. We're going to keep giggling now. Is really this to come into this alignment, this judgment. And the Emperor, who leads as a divine masculine, And that, like I said, that transformation, and you can hear just from the way that we're conversing that we're not mucking around, that this is where we were at. You know, he was on a very set path and I was on a very set path. But I think the big kicker in all of that is that we just followed our own feet. If we walked off a cliff, we walked off a cliff. The loyal companion, this little white dog again. Here's our little white dog showing
I
up.
was drunk for walking the dog.
Did you walk off a cliff?
A couple, maybe.
Couple of times.
Couple of times.
You bounced off your bottom and got back up again. The divine had your back though. Look, the sun was shining.
We don't bounce as we used to.
You got there. I'm going to go back to this one. Hey, this is a much more hopeful story. So the Fool, follow your feet, divine masculine. And I know that you want to push against what the divine is asking of you. It's not easy. And will it niggle? Will it frustrate? Will it go, what is going on here? More than likely, but follow your feet. The divine has you. The sun is at your back. Look, the sun is at your back. Enjoy it. Enjoy the push from the divine to really, transform, to have this transformation come upon you. And Divine Feminine, I know that you're the bulk of our audience, so I go, isn't this a hopeful message to be able to see this push from the divine to the masculine to go that this magic can happen? And we are testimony to that magic. Did you pick some cards for our Divine Love Oracle?
Who would you like to pick for?
I want to pick for the masculine today.
You want to pick for the masculine?
I do. I'm feeling like I need to be a little bit more tender towards the masculine. What have we got? Have you got one for the feminine now?
There it is.
Ooh, how you wanted it. Ego. You know what? It's not surprising to me that this card come out. I've been nestling in on these thoughts all day about if you... And I really like some of the things I've said in this reading tonight. If they are not prickling your ego, then something's really, really wrong. Because I know if somebody had come at me, if I was sitting in separation and told me that I would call Jeff and Shalia a bitch, I would have been really horribly embarrassed that anybody had seen through me that way, that I would look at them with such jealousy or such envy that they'd figured all this stuff out, that they were sitting in that place. And as much as they were helping, I was like, I wanted their information and resenting them at the same time. There was no way I was going to bring harmonious union under that energy. Now, this is the voice I'm asking you to call out. The ego voice. I'm asking you to go, what is that voice that is rising up, that is trying to protect you? And isn't this a crazy thing to comprehend? Your ego is trying to protect you from your union, because what happened when you two were together is you got smashed, right? You got smashed, and yet the divine says, oh, this is the person that you want. So you're in this flux of going, do I want to continue to pursue them, or do I just want to push them away for good? And throughout this whole reading, Divine Feminine, I've dropped a couple of serious clangers against ego. And if you've watched this far and you've got to see this card, consider this edification. And when I say to you that reality is right 100% of the time, and if you are not in harmonious union or you are not receiving contact, it is because you are not aligned with it. Okay? And if you were aligned with it, you would have it. Let that tickle your ego for a bit and see if you can find where you're holding the resistance. I'm trying to help by like provoking your ego with these messages, and feel free to drop me some comments. Absolutely, if you feel like I go too far on this stuff. But this was the stuff that pushed me over the line into really understanding what the journey was all about. Is it my turn for the Divine Masculine?
Yep.
Let's have a look. I'm feeling really tender towards the Divine Masculine after having sort of served up some big messages in the past few days. Now I kind of want to go, I just want to nurture you. I just want to nurture you. Yeah, look, in prison. I want to set you free. And we we kind of had a bit of a joke about this card too. Is like once you're in the journey and you're trapped, you really it's really hard to get out of it. It's like once these connections have got a hold of you, and you're on an ascension journey, it can feel like you're just I can't get myself free, even as much as I would really like to cut away anything that's holding me back. I'd like to move forward. I'd like to be free. I'd like to be happy. I think I might just focus on my 3D actually. But guess what? You are fully connected in this cycle. Look, you are juggling. You are juggling these ideals, and honestly, until you get to the bottom of them, divine masculine, you won't be free. And this is why I'm feeling nurturing, isn't it? Because I can feel your struggle, and I feel like I just want to wrap you up and help you to understand what it is that you found yourself in, because it's not easy. It's not easy. The answers I'm giving are simple. There's a bucket load of brain hacks and energy hacks I can give you till doomsday. They're simple, but they're not easy to implement. And this is kind of what I'm feeling around divine masculine, is that you don't know the tools necessarily, if I say it that way, to unshackle yourself, to be able to bring this juggling into some sense of peace, because you've had this card relentlessly, and that can leave you feeling like you're in a bit of a storm. Have we got one for the connection? Do you normally do it for the connection? How about my turn? Should I have a go? Let's have a look. What do we got for the connection? Body and soul. Yeah, look. This is kind of what I was feeling over here, is that the soul was going to get some kind of a shock. Yeah? And it was like it was going to be like the 3D body was going to get some kind of a shock. And look how this, I know it's like a feminine kind of representation, but there's some masculinity to that form as well. And it's like the soul gets shocked out of the body. Can you imagine you're lying there and it makes me giggle. Where's that judgment card? Look at it. Can you imagine you're lying there in deep meditation, you're trying to figure out what all this juggling is all about, and like the divine comes in and just when you're deep in meditation, and then it's like your soul gets shocked out of your body. I just feel like this is what is about to play out for the divine masculine, is that this soul shock. And then I'm going to harp on again, what happens to one? What happens to one? The divine is now going, I'm going to apply the force on the divine masculine, right? I keep going, oh, divine feminine, you've got the force applied over here. But this is the transition. This is where it shifts. This is where it adjusts. And this is where, we're talking about, like, I didn't help Ricky with any of his stuff. I didn't. I just got the fruit of his transformation pretty much. Yeah, of the magic of it. So now what I'm saying is here, this is the transition I've been feeling, is going, if I've been harping on about the force being on the feminine, now what I feel like is that the force is being applied to the masculine and going, like I'm going to shake you up. So divine feminine, you're going to get shaken up too by default, which is like, which then gets you, I see that you completed this journey to Empress. This is why you're still in pre-harvest, because now I'm going to sit you here. You've got all that fruit on the tree, but I'm not going to let you pick it yet, because I've got a cage to rattle. Righto. I could have fun with that for ages. You know me, I can talk. But I'm going to wrap that reading up there and say thank you so much if you've watched this far, and that we've been able to help you. That's our great privilege. If you want to reach out to us,
yeah, feel free to drop us a message in the comments, or we will post links to our other social media platforms if you want to shoot us private messages for questions you might want to ask privately.
Yep.
Or if you want private readings, feel free to message us and hit like, share, and subscribe. And
with the private read, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We're in Australia.
Yeah. We'll work out. We'll work with you to get to you, and we want to help you through this journey. And from me, off with us in, and Susie.
In faith, hope, and love. Bye for now.